What's up, guys? I'm back with my story of porn addiction to freedom. This is part 2. Be right back.
First gaze, I forgot my worst days. It was Thursday, felt like my birthday. You was her day. Meet the man from Jersey. Where you from?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Piece of the Puzzle, where this is a channel for revelation, insight, and for confirmation to get you pieces from other pieces, but specifically from revelation from God himself to help you get a clear picture of what vision you have and what you need to see about you. And to understand God even more, which is even more important. But it go hand in hand. All right. So this platform is designed for people of all colors, of all nations, and all that good stuff, whatever. And I'm specifically going after people that have sex/porn addiction, which I call porn dependency. As you get to know me, I'm gonna use that term more often. How this is really hurting the community, hurting people, hurting you from hearing from God. Ultimate distraction. And we're gonna, if you as you keep following me, gonna understand that. And I've been telling my story concerning my porn addiction journey to freedom. All right. So I left you at, if you're going to go back, that's the other video right here, just right there. If you want to, we went it up at where my mom now was dating. Now she had, dated other people, but this was somewhere I was now more conscious of what's going on and all that good stuff, whatever. And prior to her dating that, even forgot to tell you, which was a good impact on my life, my father died. I was like 8. We just moved in the house where I said we moved to the woods. We just moved in there. And sometime, a year or two went by. Maybe I saw him the year before or whatever. I think Philly, and my mom got a call that he collapsed. I know he was dealing with cancer, and my father died. And I was mad, upset. I was even mad at God because I'm like, why you take him? Won't you take me? And this was a man that I knew enough to cry, but it is what it is. I'm still grateful that I have his DNA because my mom telling me I see how my other family members are on my dad's side of the family. That makes up my personality, which I always love about myself. All right, cool. So if you want to keep following, please subscribe, follow, hit the button, hit the bell, all that good stuff. In the link, you will see links to 2 books of sex, volume 1 and volume 2, which is Amazon. And then you will see another link in there for a book about women. Women are not queens. Get your copy today. Tell me what you think. Comment and all that good stuff. I will be open to your insight. All right, so we're back. So yeah, my mom started dating. My dad passed away. So this was an impact of my life, and I don't want this to seem like it's so many negative things. One thing for sure that my mom did was we kept going to church. Reverend Goolsby, well, man, I forgot about that. Reverend Williams was my godfather, and he passed away when I was younger. I had a god sister, god brother, god family, and all that good stuff. And I remember being in church and all that good stuff. So throughout this journey, I want to also show you how God had a hand in my life. Now, well, I don't see God in my life. This is based upon the adults that are involved in my life. So I just thank God for who was in my life prior to me being born or as I was raised that kept God around me. You know what I'm saying? So he passed away. And that was a father. My dad passed away. Supposed to be a father figure, but in a sense, my actual biological. And my mom kept bringing me to church, so I was around other godly men. I'm Bill, Reverend Goolsby, pastor of my youth. Very humble man, very great dude. The family was great, the church is great, intimate, and he was very soft-spoken and very clear in his teaching. I love that, whatever. It was the first time I started memorizing scripture because I went to go join the church, and this was, I forgot what age I was, but I was doing that. I was even having spiritual encounters with different entities and things of that nature, which is a whole nother one that I'm going to talk about that. But anyway, so yeah. So at this time, my mom was dating, and, is my mom's boyfriend at the time and his side of the family. It was a very interesting time, Everybody need love. So I know my mom was into this guy, and we was getting more acquainted with the family. And it was good times, it was bad times. At this time, DVDs came. Now, magazines is one. Tape is one thing, because tapes are a certain size. Like VHS tapes, they're a certain size. You only could keep so many before it looked clunky and everything. When DVDs came out, that means it was easier to hide. It was easier to keep. It was thin, it was a circle, and you could have a stack. I had people I was friends with that had stacks of porn. I remember having a stack. A DVD is like this, just like this. I remember having a stack like this, you know. At this juncture, I was more familiar with West Coast Video, and they had that little black curtain in the back, and I always wonder what was that black curtain. I thought it was something that employees go with. So one day I was walking through West Coast Video, and somebody walked back there, and the curtain opened. I looked and I said, oh, that's what's back there. Now how can I get back? Can't get nothing because I'm not of age. But found my way sneaking back there when nobody's back there. Look, a hurricane came out. Everything I'm saying right now, honestly, my family don't even know that I did it. So a lot of stuff that I'm saying, even my mama might hear this for the first time. You know what I'm saying? So that was that case. We still in the woods. We have a neighbor. Mom was dating. At this juncture, my brother was in the headspace of like getting prepared. I will leave it at that, because that's his story for something. My sister, we close, but it seemed like everybody, my cousin was living with us at some point, and it seemed like everybody was all about their life. I'm the youngest of 3. Now, I'm really, on my dad's side, it's more. But out of the ones out of my household I was brought up in, I'm the youngest. So everybody was doing their own thing. And I was pretty much not on my own, because it's not like my mom fed, my sister cooked. I was in a decent house. It's not like I ain't got one of them stories where, you know, mama didn't love me. My mom worked. She loved me as best as she could. She did what she had to do. But the company that was around wasn't so much of a good, example to follow. But back then, we used to be on a tougher side. So this was we wrestled. One of the brothers played football. Before this my other video, I know I was name dropping, but I was young, 8'7". You know what I'm saying? So one of the friends hit me up, but he was cool. I ain't hear him a long time. Great to hear him. But now I'm getting more in an older and more serious situation. I'm not name dropping, you know what I mean? So the thing is this. At this juncture, there was even a gang affiliation going on that I want to be a part of, what I couldn't be a part of. There was times where in a hood or in a neighborhood, you want to get tough, right? So there was times where we used to wrestle and get punched in the chest, like, bam. Like, no, I'm talking about dudes 17, 16, I'm 13, 12, and you get hit in the chest like a grown man. This was the way of getting tough. We used to call it body to body. This when you ball your fist up and you just hitting body to body. I grew up in an era where you mess up, we bet you had to do push-ups. I grew up in an era where a different cloth of survival, where you didn't cry about stuff, you didn't worry about certain stuff, wherever. I still grew up in an era where you left in the morning time, you came back home. When I was 8, I used to leave the house at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I ain't come home till 7 o'clock at night. I might have came home in the middle of the day to get something to drink, and I'm back out the door. So this time we go on things called body to body, chest to chest. Even our friends was doing it in school, to the point there's a way to toughen up, getting ready to fight, because that's what happened. You know, you were fighting sometimes, and it was what it was. Now at this juncture, because of DVDs and because that's going on, and because of a hood atmosphere, I definitely didn't care how much porn I was watching. So not only I was doing that, but I was also becoming more sexual driven. I was also becoming more, you could say, freakish. I became more where you might say this word for women, but there's men too, and that's being promiscuous. You know, there were times where, you know, I couldn't wait for the moment to have my first girl so I can do what I just learned and what I saw all this time. You know what I mean? But I was still touching butts. You know, even when I was younger, after seeing that, you know, hump girls and whatever case may be. You know what I'm saying? But it was good times too. We went to the mall, watched some movies at Cumberland Mall, and we used to ride the bus coming back home, and there was a lot of socializing going on, but everybody pretty much watched porn. Everybody. And as this is now going through middle school, where we used to exchange, yo, let me get that, to the point, yo, give my DVD back. Man, I'm gonna give it back. There was an exchange going on within the youth community of this porn, at least amongst the boys. I can't speak about what was going on with the girls, but along with the boys. So this was what? A normal thing to look at, a normal thing to watch. And this is now me and Charles going up to middle school. I'm still going to church a little bit, but when I went to church, I remember they used to mess around in the back of the church. doing whatever, flirting and much more activities. And I remember I really was into church. I really want to study my word, this and third, whatever. Even though I was doing that stuff on the side, when it came to God, I always took God serious. My mom helped me. I used to always get suspended off the bus all the time for fighting, messing around, horse playing. And I was like, man, I don't got tired of getting suspended off the bus. My mom used to say, well, pray about it. I said, pray about it. Lord, help me not get suspended off the bus. That's all I knew. And guess what? I stopped getting suspended off the bus. So now prayer works, this and third, whatever. So there's a strategic thing going on between me and God, and then me and the world. There's a battle of my mind going on this whole time. So I want to point out to you, yeah. And this is me really. My mom, she only could teach a young boy how to be a man so much, and the examples I had around by men in the household was on a tougher side, survival side. I did have a lot of teachers, white. These I'm naming names because I'm giving homage. So whatever. Mr. White, Mr. Dickerson, Dr. Hall, my elementary principal, Mr. Bill, gave me my first job. Remember, I was 12 years old and I made like $700 because I was in a week, 400 another week, another 300 another week. And I was 12 years old during the summertime making money. He gave me my first job. I've been working since I was 12 years old. Work ethics like crazy. So that's where that came from. So I had a lot of good. I had Uncle Peanut, Uncle Ray. You know what I'm saying? He got on me about lying at one point and stuff like that. So there's a lot of good men. And then there was a lot of so good examples. And it was like that white angel, red angel on my shoulder battling over my mind type of, right? So along with this porn, I'm still dealing with what my mom going through, who she dated, all the things they went. Use your imagination for what that means. My story is based upon me feeling like I was hopeless. One point that we was doing things, whatever, and I actually threatened them with a knife. And I was, mind you, I'm 12 years old. And it was like, Mick, put the knife down. You could have killed somebody, whatever. But in my head, I was too small. So I'm stressed. So guess where I go to get relief? I'm in the woods. So if I did have a little girlfriend, it was only on phone thing. When it came to girls, we used to be on the phone a lot, this and third. So what you think we also had? I had phone sex. I had masturbation and phone sex was more active in my life before I had real sex. So I'm doing a lot of self-preservation. And y'all don't understand, we're gonna get into it, but this is also teaches underlining of selfishness. Will you take care of you? But that's a whole nother conversation we're gonna get into, right? So when I went through all these things, and that was my only escape because I didn't play sports. My mom worked. Nobody could take me to go nowhere. I didn't play sports till I got into high school. Football, wrestling, and track. But prior to high school, I'm not even getting there yet. This is elementary, middle school, everything I'm talking about. I was an angry young boy. But at the same time, I was goofy and I played around a lot. You know what I'm saying? I remember our crew, we was called National Phenomena at one point. I'm gonna back up. At one point, we was bad boys. I remember we used to get white t-shirts and draw on them. And this is when Bad Boys came out, you know, like Pup Diddy, you know what I'm saying? And I remember Charles like, man, let's call us Bad Boys and everything. I remember Charles, he was a big fan of Biggie Smalls. And we used to be Bad Boys. At some point, we became NP, National Phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? So that was even later on. But prior to that, in middle school, you know, I had my first kiss in 7th grade, my first girlfriend. Not understand what's going on in my body, not understand what's going on in my life. But every time I went home, it was once I used to do in the morning, after school, before I went to sleep. It was part of my routine, like brushing my teeth. My motivation for washing up is so I could be ready to have sex with a girl. Everything I did was motivated to preparing for the opportunity of having sex with somebody, messing with somebody, doing something. Everything I did. I didn't smell good because I love me. I smelled good because I wanted to be attracted towards a girl. I didn't look good because of me. I looked good because I want to look good for a girl. I took showers because I wanted to be ready for a girl. Everything was motivated because this became the teacher of my life. Not even understanding that goals, affirmations, or what I'm trying to do, visions. The one thing I did do a lot was draw. So I want to say this, and I want to thank God for this. Thank God for my neighbor, because he taught me how to change brakes on a car, change an oil, different parts on the car, how to ride a four-wheeler, three-wheeler. I remember my drawing. I used to draw people, all that good stuff, whatever. It was me and another guy in middle school used to compete with each other, but we used to draw a lot. I used to stop and draw people. So I drew a whole lot. I drew. I had an interest. I didn't know what it was going at. I was once in a newspaper in elementary school. You get what I'm saying? So I want you to understand the aspect about it. So that was that. So when it came down to me understanding me, I didn't even get to understand me. Not knowing I'm growing up to learning something else. I have little guidance, and I'm not learning me at all. I had decent grades, so I wasn't struggling in school. But one thing I did do, I like what my brother liked. I never really knew what I liked. I could hang around my sisters, but she was a female. Me and my crew, you can't learn a lot people that's the same age and got the same mindset. Charles' father actually became more like a father figure. I should see Charles deal with his father, and that was my father moment. He don't even know that. I'm saying this right now. So yeah, there was a lot going on here, and now I'm being raised, I'm being cultivated and developed into what? I'm just roaming. But one thing I was determined and that stayed consistent in my life, no matter what happened, was porn the whole time. And I know I'm not by myself in this, but it is what it is. So this is where I'm at. It's normal. Nobody knows. And if somebody did know, it was so normal. My grandmom died. And the way I saw her body, I remember walking in. And I remember my mom was mad. We all got in a van and we skeeted off of how it all went down. And I remember we went to the old folks. I was walking in. And to this day, I'm like, why did they let me see my grandmom like that? And I'm little. They didn't fix her up or nothing. Like, I saw her when she was she was still look like she was suffering. And that's my last image of my grandma. Grandma Lucy, I love her. And it messed my head up to the point, man, I was watching porn all week. I ain't talking to nobody while I was dealing with. I ain't go to nobody while I was dealing with. Or we went out fighting, or we played around. And one of the games we played was hide and go get it. That's when, boys and girls, and you go hide and I'll go find you to go get it. But the getting I was talking about was a kiss or touch a butt, she ran off, whatever, I'm so small. So that's where I'm at with part 2. And this is still something that I was dealing with I was dealing with myself, learning this journey I was on my own, and I dealt with a whole lot, and I was not able to talk to nobody about nothing. No, when no mom wasn't there, whatever. My mom was dealing with some things, whatever. And I understand that. But I had it way better than most. So I thank God for my mom always showing me to pray, always taking me to church, and having a house. I don't even remember food stamps. That's why I think of how hard my mom worked. She took care of it and bought a house. So salute to you, Mom. But when it comes to the dudes, men, I was reckless in my mental state. So that's why I'm here. Because you might got a child that might be in the same position and you think they're all right. Because I was a happy kid. I smiled all the time. I laughed all the time and joked all the time. It's not like I was a depressed kid by myself. We used to crack like, who you getting on? Who you getting on, bitch? Who you getting on? Like, we used to do that all the time. Play basketball, football in the field. You know what I'm saying? I was still excited about learning. Mr. White was a science teacher, and I remember every single bone in the body. Until this day, I still know what an ulna is, and capillaries, and all that good stuff because of that's veins. But because of him, I was so fascinated with the body to the point it even gave me a piece to my puzzle on how I help people today. So I'm here next week or next video. Part 3. Any questions, comments, leave it down there. Share, like. This has been Piece to the Puzzle. I hope this piece give you peace. Peace.
First gaze, I forgot my worst days. It was Thursday, felt like my birthday. It was her day. Meet the man from Jersey. Where you from?